Hello YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. This is probably the video that you wouldn't be expecting from me. If you've been watching the videos in this channel for a little bit, you do know that I do a lot of videos with Triskates. Triskates being 3 wheels inline skates, something like this. Because I skate a lot with 3 wheels inline skates, that doesn't mean that they don't have disadvantages. So this video is going to be about those. I'm going to tell you, in my opinion, which are the main disadvantages of the skates, and then in the end I'm going to give you my verdict. I'm going to give you my most honest opinion about those disadvantages. In this video I'm going to be comparing 3-wheel skates with 4-wheel skates, being these the most common inline skate until a few years ago. Nowadays, well, a lot of brands make 3-wheel skates, but let's just go ahead with that. One of the main disadvantages from the 3-wheel inline skates is that you are usually taller. Being taller from the ground makes the skate a lot more unstable. And because of that, also another disadvantage is that you really need to have a good boot. If you're going to use Triskates with a not so supportive boot, your experience is going to be really bad. On the other hand, when it comes to 4-wheel skates, it doesn't really matter the boot that much because you're really low to the ground, and that makes your skates a lot more stable. Now, something that you should also know is when you have 3-wheel skates, again comparing it with 4-wheel skates, each wheel ends up having a little bit more surface touching the ground than on a smaller wheel. But on the other hand, this one only have 3 wheels touching the ground and this one has 4. So when you do a really tight turn that you really need a lot of grip, that will make the 4-wheel skates have an advantage against the 3-wheel skates. Of course, you can always have really good wheels on the 3-wheel skates that will improve the grip, but you can also have really good wheels on the 4-wheel skates, which will also improve the grip. Now, most of the times, the 3-wheel skates have a shorter wheelbase than 4-wheel skates. That doesn't happen the whole time because if you're gonna have like a speed skating frame, it's going to be really long, and this doesn't make sense. But in general, you will feel that the 3-wheel skates will be a lot more unstable than the 4-wheel skates with a longer wheelbase. In this case, they are both 243 millimeters, and you don't really see that much of a difference. But in general, the 4-wheel skates usually have a longer wheelbase and are usually more stable than the 3-wheel skates, which usually have the middle wheel working as a pivot point, making it a lot easier to turn for the good and the bad. And we're talking about the bad here, so it can be a disadvantage. Having less wheels touching the ground also means that your wheels will be trashed a lot easier. So more points of contact with the ground will mean longer life for your wheels, right? That also brings us to the next disadvantage. There's a lot less wheel offer in bigger wheels. Even if it's improving now, there's still not a lot of brands doing 3-wheel skates. 4-wheel skates, every brand do it, and a lot of brands produce wheels. A lot of cheap brands, a lot of good brands produce wheels. 3-wheel skates, it's new. It's like a 3-4-year-old thing. So there's still not enough brands, but because there's less points touching the ground, the wheels go fast. And not just the wheels go fast, but also the bearings, because there's extra forces going through the bearings. Again, let's not forget that it's usually a taller setup, which means there's a lot more torsion going through the bearings and less bearings than this. So more pressure through the bearings. Another disadvantage. Well, if you look here, the middle of these skates, it's here, really easy. The middle of the Triskates, it's usually a wheel. If you used to use 4-wheel inline skates in the city, when you first try the 3-wheel skates, it's really weird because you used to go, imagine if this is a stair, if you want to go up the stairs, you usually go with the middle of your skate, like with the center block, which is not really a block, but with this space in between the second and third wheel. On the 3-wheel skates, you either need to go up the steps running in between the first and second, or between the second and third. And that is not always the easiest, especially at first. Of course you get used to it, but that can also be a disadvantage. Now that I'm talking about stairs, also when you're going to go downstairs, that can also be a disadvantage. It's kind of weird to explain, but think about it. Usually on these wheels, bigger wheels, are going to have a lot bigger spaces here, right? The space here, it's a lot bigger. You look here, the space is a lot smaller. So when you want to roll downstairs, there's a lot smaller places here that can hook your wheels. So when you want to roll downstairs, it's usually easier with more wheels, smaller sizes, than with big wheels. If I want to go downstairs with the 3110, comparing it with a 4x80, or even if I have a 5x72 like the new Wizard frame going downstairs, I'm pretty sure smaller wheels with less space here, it's going to make it a lot easier to go downstairs. So to go downstairs, it's actually a little bit easier with more wheels, more smaller wheels, than with less bigger wheels. And now the final disadvantage comes from speed skaters. This is not a track or a road speed skate. It's like a marathon skate. But if I would want to use these to race in an official competition, I wouldn't be allowed, because 3 wheels, 3 125s are not allowed for track. So you would need to go for something like 4 110s, 4 100s. That's what all the speed skaters are using in track, and that can also be a disadvantage. For me, it doesn't really matter. I don't race in the track anymore. I don't race in the road anymore. For a marathon, yes, these would work, and I'm allowed to skate a marathon with 3 125, which usually it's what all the winners use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I just gave you 8 disadvantages about 3-wheel skates. But now the question is, what's your favorite skates? And I'm still going to say my favorite skates are 3x125s, because for all these disadvantages that I gave you, there's ways around it. Of course, it's a taller skate. Yes, you can use a different mounting system. If I use something like this, which is a Trinity mount, it's going to usually have a way better connection between the boot and the frame. Also, this Trinity system makes the frame a little bit lower. Than if I use a carbon boot, it's going to be stiff enough. So it's my way to go around having a taller setup. But at the same time, yes, I also said that having 3 wheels have less grip. But who said I don't want to have less grip for slides, right? So all these things that I just told you can be disadvantages, but still, my favorite setup, it's still a 3x125 skate. So take your own conclusions. You can let me know your opinion about this video, about these disadvantages. If you have more disadvantages, if you have advantages for Triskates, let me know in the comments. There's a little face down here. If you press on that face, you can also subscribe to the channel. Once that subscribe button is gray, there's a little bell button. Press on the bell button and you'll get notifications every time I upload one of these videos. And more important than anything else, just like I always said, it doesn't really matter if you are with 4-wheel skates, with 3-wheel skates, or if you're whatever. You just cannot forget why we all started, and that is because it's fun. Cheers guys, and see you soon.